Welcome, welcome, welcome to this edition of the EFT Universe Community Tapping Circle. I'm really so glad to be with you. My name is Brian Hogan, life coach, filmmaker, clinical therapist, and founder of the S.H.I.F.T model. And doing these kinds of things is just such a privilege for me because here we are, just people showing up, like no rhyme or reason other than to take our nervous system regulation seriously, to take healing seriously, to find our way back to peace, freedom, and joy. And we're here and we're doing that at a time when so much is going wrong around us, so much is collapsing around us, and there's so much outrage about those things that are collapsing, and so much finger pointing about all of that. Some of it justified, some of the fingers pointing in the exact right direction. And yet that type of energy can help us, can keep us stuck. And so let's land, and then we're going to talk a bit about blame versus responsibility and what the true nature of those things are, how to de-link them and find our freedom through that. So can everybody hear me? Give me one of these if you can hear me. Okay. All right, good. So that's great. All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So just take a breath. If it feels aligned for you, you can tap a little bit on the side of your hand. I'm going to talk for about 5 to 10 minutes about this topic before we dive into the tapping proper. So pace yourself as you tap. Sometimes if you're just going to tap on one point, you could choose your collarbone. Or for any of you that want to regulate your nervous system in any other way, that's fine. You can notice the chair, notice yourself feeling supported, and notice that whatever's happening in the world right now, in this moment, you are here and you are safe. And you're safe enough to explore, and that's why we came. And just briefly, housekeeping, if you have yourself unmuted, would you mind muting yourselves just so that we can all keep a totally distraction-free container? Thank you so much, everybody. Okay, so tonight's topic is blame versus responsibility. Transcending blame to reclaim freedom, I think is actually how I put it, right? And so tonight is not about deciding who's right. It's not about pretending that injustice doesn't exist, and it's not about bypassing anger. Quite the opposite. Anger can be justified. Outrage can be justified. Fear can be justified. But if we get stuck there, then we're no good to anybody. So tonight we're working with that energy. Blame is like a pattern of energy that wants to control everything in order to feel safe. And responsibility is a pattern of energy that takes ownership of one's own experience. And then that becomes freedom because we're taking ownership in that moment. And so you respond from this place of freedom. We're going to learn the difference, and then we're going to tap our way free for a big, long experiential tapping here in the last part of the hour. So today's topic, transcending blame and the true meaning of responsibility, right? This is near and dear to my heart because what I keep seeing online and in communities all around, even locally, is that we are stuck in outrage, we are stuck in anger, and we are stuck in fear. Rightfully or wrongfully, that's what's happening. And that doesn't mean that it's not okay or justifiable or understandable. But if we stay stuck for too long in that place, we lose our ability to respond clearly. So here's the question. What if responsibility has nothing to do with blame, nothing to do with fault, and everything to do with freedom? When something goes wrong, our first reflex individually and collectively is to say, like, who's to blame? But the question itself keeps us stuck. Blame means to find fault, to assign guilt, to criticize, to place responsibility away from us. Responsibility means the capacity to make decisions and take action. But hidden inside the word responsibility is the deeper esoteric truth, the real meaning that I want you to hear and take away tonight. The ability to respond. Response ability. Who has the ability to respond? Blame locks us in the past. Responsibility opens us to the present. Blame is punitive. Responsibility is restorative. Blame says, I'm not to blame, so I'm not responsible. But that's a twist on the definition. Responsibility is not about fault at all. It's about capacity. So instead of asking who caused this when something lands in front of us that we have the ability to respond to, we ask, what can I do about this? Who has the ability to respond to this? The one who has the ability to respond is the responsible one in that moment. Now, that doesn't mean you're responsible for fixing the war in Ukraine or the genocide in Gaza or every local or global crisis. You have to be honest about your bandwidth. If you burn out while the world burns, then you have less ability to respond to anything, even the things in your own life that you could have helped. So blame focuses on problem and responsibility focuses on solutions. Blame roots us in anger and judgment, and responsibility roots us in creativity and curiosity. In Stoicism, they say it beautifully like this. It's not the events that disturb us, but our judgments about the events. Blame is judgment in disguise. In Buddhism, everything arises from causes and conditions. Innumerable. There is never one person to blame or one cause for any effect. There is interdependence, complex interdependence. So the useful question becomes, what response will reduce suffering? Inside the IFS, internal family systems and trauma-informed lenses, when we self-blame, it's just one part punishing another part. Responsibility, on the other hand, is when our self steps in and says, I can handle this. I've got you now. So now here's the analogy that I want you to hear this, to bring this home a little bit so that we can put it in concrete terms, right? You open your front door one morning and there's a baby in a basket on your stoop. And there's a note that says, your baby now. Are you to blame for that baby being abandoned? Are you to blame? No, of course not. You had no idea. You just went out to shovel or whatever. And it's snowing now in this thing. So it's really, really dire. Okay. The baby's being snowed on. And so are you at fault for this baby on your stoop that's being snowed on? You're not to blame for it being there, but are you at fault now that it's there? No, still no. You just found it. But are you responsible to do something about that baby? Yeah, you bet your ass you are, because you're standing there. So you are the one with the ability to respond, the only one. Their parents, who rightfully should be responding, have left. They're gone. So they don't have the ability to respond anymore, but you do. You may not be responsible to raise the baby, but you are responsible to bring the baby inside, make sure it's warm, and then figure out what comes next. That's what responsibility is. Freedom disguised as duty. It's freedom from outrage, freedom from helplessness, freedom from waiting for someone else to fix it. You detach from what you cannot control, and you build, create, improve, and support what you can respond to legitimately, for real, from where you are, not even what the news tells you to respond to, or your political party tells you to respond to, or your family, but what you really can, what you actually have the capacity to respond to, nothing more and nothing less. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, you have a right to action, but not to the fruits of your action. That's what responsibility means. Like, you act with integrity, but you have to be detached from the fruits, from the outcome. It's not up to you how it turns out. It's up to you what you do. Viktor Frankl said, between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space is our power to choose. In that space is our power to respond to the best of our ability. That's what that means. That little space that we cultivate, and we make that space go from this to this through the work we're doing tonight, through tapping, through regulation, through practicing and expanding our tolerance window. Polyvagal theory tells us the same thing. When we're stuck in blame or outrage, we lose access to ventral vagal clarity. So when we're regulated, we can respond instead of react. Taoism calls it Wu Wei, effortless action, action without force or reactivity. And outrage is what systems of power count on. So hear this part. Outrage keeps us reactive. Responsibility makes us conscious, and consciousness is ungovernable. So freedom begins the moment you stop asking who's at fault and you start asking, what can I make from this now? What can I do about this? What can I create from here? Because right here and right now is all there is. The past is already gone. Responsibility is light. It is illuminating. So you're responsible for nothing more than what you are able to respond to. And in this moment, for the next 45 minutes to an hour, it's your own nervous system. It's your own history. It's your own present moment. That's all you have to respond to now. That's all you're responsible for. And that will change as each new present moment unfolds. So tonight we're going to tap through this energy of it's all their fault or it's all my fault. And we're going to reclaim responsibility, our ability to respond, our ability to handle it. So take a breath and let's begin. Let's do this together. Okay, so go ahead and tap on the side of your hand. And remember, this is an eyes open and repeat after me practice. If you want to close your eyes and that feels safe, and you know the tapping points, obviously go ahead. The reason I'm saying it's open eyes is because there's no pressure to remember anything. You can just watch and go along with me if that's easiest. And it's repeat after me too. So for the same thing, there's no heavy lifting here. You can just repeat after me and allow the energy to shift. If anything I say at all doesn't ring completely true for you, chime the bell of truth for your own internal wisdom, then just repeat, change it in real time to something that does ring true, that feels better for you, because trauma heals in truth and safety combined. So don't say anything, even if I say it, if it doesn't feel true for you in the moment. Okay. Even though part of me believes it's their fault and they caused this, I deeply and completely accept myself. As we do this, center something in your mind where you're struggling with whose fault it is, or letting go of that aspect even if that's you, even if you're the one on your own chopping block right now. Even though I feel stuck in this blame energy, I'm open to softening. Even though I think they should fix it, or I should have known better, I am willing to explore something freer. Top of head. It's their fault. Eyebrow. They caused this. Side of eye. They shouldn't have done that. Under the eye. They need to fix it. Under the nose. I'm so angry. Under the chin. And it feels justified. Collarbone. This outrage. This blame energy. Like syrup. Okay, stop tapping. Put your hands on your heart if that feels safe and aligned for you, and take a nice deep breath in through your nose and then a long, slow exhale through pursed lips, allowing the exhale to be longer than the inhale, which also cues your body that you're safe. You can't breathe like this if you're being chased by a tiger, for example. So now just pause here and just notice what's happening inside your body as you call up this energy of blame. It may have been very present for you already. It may be that you've needed to call it up. Either way, it's here, and we all deal with this. We struggle with how to make sense of things by finding fault, how to feel safe in chaos by knowing where it came from and what happened and who's to blame. So it doesn't make us bad or wrong. Just notice where this need for the clarity that blame gives us comes from and what it might feel like in your body. Because blame is often grief and helplessness wearing armor. When we blame outward, our nervous system is in fight energy. It believes locating a villain equals safety. But staying there actually keeps us reactive. So if you'd like to, if it feels aligned, and this is permission-based only, if you want to share in the chat, where in your life right now do you notice this outward-facing blame energy, if anywhere? And again, you don't have to share. If it's personal for you and something's coming up and you want to keep it to yourself, please do so. If you want to share so it can be compassionately witnessed by this group of fellow healers, and just let us know in the chat, where are you noticing this energy of blame? I'm noticing it, I'll say it for you guys, in the arena of politics. I feel like it's the government's fault that we're in this mess, right? And that's where I'm struggling with some blame right now. It's an outward-facing blame. We also have inward-facing blame. Enraged by ice. Yeah. Of course, of course. Why wouldn't we be? It's so unfair. Politics too, yeah. Big pharma, big tech, big business, government. I guess I struck a nerve, right, with my own outrage, but this is real, and let's allow it to be in the room with us. As much as it feels safe for you, connect to this part of you that wants to point the finger because you're rightfully scared or rightfully enraged or rightfully outraged by these things that are happening. In politics, it's bleak. ICE is dangerous. Big pharma, big tech, big business. It's tough out there. The use of drones. Yeah. So much is happening so fast. So just tap on your collarbone as we absorb this. Allow ourselves to sit with our own energy that was already here. We're just allowing it to be here and be named. And then allow yourself to expand and sit with the energy of your fellow human travelers on this journey tonight. If what you're seeing in the chat isn't something that's triggering for you, then open your heart to it so you can hold that energy for the others in the group for whom it is triggering. Let ourselves overlap energetically. Let those of us that have a wise and strong force be there for each other. And that's all of us, by the way. We have this wise and strong, undamaged, undamageable core of peace at the center of who we are. Let that be in the room tonight, too. And hold all of this. Chronic health issues in the world. Yes, it's so unfair. And that makes me think of big food, right? Like large corporations as employers. Yeah, there's so much in the systemic nature of what's going on that feels broken. And that's part of what's happening in the world. We're living through this massive transformation of human consciousness. Part of that transformation is diving into what we feel, even when it's hard. So that's what we're doing right here and right now. We're not going to stay here, but we're just going to connect to it. So if you feel ready, you can move to the side of your hand. Even though blame is trying to protect me from feeling powerless, I honor that part doing that job. If you notice yourself shifting, sighing, or yawning, allow that. Allow. Even though anger feels strong, I am open to deeper strength. Even though outrage feels powerful, I am willing to regulate. Top of the head. This anger is protective. Eyebrow. It doesn't want me to feel helpless. Side of the eye. It thinks blame equals power. Under the eye. It thinks outrage equals control. Under the nose. But this energy can be exhausting. And this part is exhausted. Chin. This energy can be draining. Collarbone. I'm tired of carrying this. Under the arm. I want clarity instead. Even if I don't know how to let it go, I'm willing to explore this. Okay, stop tapping. Take that nice, slow, deep breath in through the nose and a long, slow exhale through pursed lips. Hands on your heart if that feels aligned. Just realizing if you burn out as the world burns, you lose your ability to respond, even to your own life. That's not a strength, that's depletion. Strength comes from what we're doing here. processing, feeling fully, allowing the energy to have a home, to feel seen, heard, and understood, and move through us. So if you'd like to, you can use the chat here to reflect on this. What does blame cost you emotionally or physically? And this doesn't mean that the things that you're blaming aren't accurate to be blamed. This is not about the veracity of the claims. This is about the energy of holding on to this stuck feeling. What does blame cost you emotionally or physically? There's no wrong answer, and there's no shame in this. We all pay costs all the time for every experience we have on the planet, and that's okay. That's why we have phrases like pay attention, because there's a cost. Okay, so yeah, vitality, inner peace. Blame can be disempowering, yes, very much so, because then we know there's other voices doing that our way. Yeah, peace and vitality wipes us out physically. Negative thought loops, oh, for sure, yes. Circles, and they just go deeper and deeper. Thought loops can be like these like tires in a muddy road, like grooves, right? Keeps me unconsciously feeling stuck in sympathetic overwhelm. Yeah. Responsibility equals empowering. Yes. Keeps me from acting for my own good. Yes, blame ultimately, while it can feel like it's adding safety and it can feel like it's out of control, it actually adds confusion, and it adds like a distraction. It feels like a distraction when we really tune into it. Yeah. So just notice that. Notice where these feelings and these thought loops live in your body. Notice the stories coming up now. And just say this to whatever your experience is right now, to the degree that it feels safe. You say, you can stay. You can stay. Whatever is showing up right now, even if it's uncomfortable, I would like to ask you parts not to overwhelm me, but you can stay. Stay right here and be with me while I tap. And then begin tapping on the side of your hand. Take your time. Even though part of me thinks it's all my fault, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I replay what I should have done, and I replay what they should have done, I honor the part that wants safety. I honor the part that wants justice. Even though shame feels heavy, I am open to relief. Top of the head. It's my fault. Eyebrow. I should have known. Side of the eye. I should have done better. If only I had done it differently. Under the nose. This shame. Chin. This heaviness. Collarbone. Trying to control the past through stories. Trying to control the future through predictions. Under the arm. But this is the present. And right here and right now, I'm okay. Okay, stop tapping. Put your hands on your heart and take that nice deep breath in through the nose and a long, slow exhale through pursed lips. And just tune into your own experience here for a minute. Whatever's coming up for you. Self-blame is often an attempt to create certainty. If it's my fault, then I can prevent it next time. Okay, so done deal. But that's an illusion that costs us peace. It costs us the inner benevolence that our inner wizard, our self with a capital S, is so deeply committed to providing. So just notice how these feelings of self-blame feel to you, how they make you feel. And if you want to put it in the chat, you can answer it this way. Does self-blame make you feel, where do you feel it in your body? Let's ask it that way. When you really tune into these feelings of self-blame, what is their somatic presentation? How does that show up for you? Where do those parts live? And again, this is permission-based. You share only insofar as it helps you and feels empowering for you. Feels crummy in my solar plexus. Yeah, yes. I feel blame as like a fire in my belly. Ooh, like a fire, especially when it's outward blame. And inward blame is like this armor all up and down my arms. Stomach and liver. Yeah, yeah. A tightening around the torso. Self-blame feels much stronger than outward blame. Yeah, yeah. We've been taught that self-blame will keep us safe. We've been taught to be so vigilant about making sure that we don't make the same mistake again. We've been taught by our culture that there's only one right answer to things. And if we don't get that one right answer, we ought to be ashamed of ourselves. And so we don't raise our hands anymore. So it's so normal for self-blame to be stronger. Self-blame is we've taken the blame of culture and we've taken up the cause and we do it to ourselves. Pressure between the throat and the heart chakras. And we all do this, by the way. Yeah, that chest pressure, right? Stomach and throat. Like my brain is going to explode. Yeah. Feels like a block in there. Tension in shoulders and neck and upper back. Heaviness in my stomach. Much tightness. Okay. So tuning into these sensations, this white knuckling of life feeling, right? Like we're just grabbing on. Now I've got to imagine that these sensations are sensations you're likely tired of, right? Certainly don't want to white knuckle all the time. And yet right now, let's do this. Tune into those sensations and say to them too, you can stay. You can stay. Say, you're welcome here. I know I don't normally let you in, but you are welcome here. Not because self-blame is something I deserve, but because this part that's doing this is trying to protect me, and this part is welcome here. Even if its methods are a little questionable. And that's okay. So now, just picturing all of these sensations and picturing any parts that have showed up for you right now. And let them know that you're glad they're here in whatever way that makes sense for you. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for participating in this healing journey. Thank you for providing me insight. Thank you for showing me where I'm still suffering. Thank you for letting me know you need my help and support. Whatever the messages are that are coming, just send the gratitude, whatever feels genuine for you in this moment, to your parts. And then when you're ready, you can begin tapping with me on the side of your hand. Even though I didn't cause everything in my life, I can respond. Even though I'm not to blame for everything, I have response ability. The ability to respond. Even though I can't control outcomes, I can act with integrity. Top of the head. I didn't cause this. Things have more than one cause. Eyebrow. But I'm standing here now. Side of the eye. I'm the one with the ability to respond. Under the eye. Like the baby on the stoop. Under the nose. It's not my fault. Chin. I'm not to blame for this baby. Collarbone. But my response matters. I can nurture it. I can care for it. I can take the next step that's needed. And that's all that I'm responsible for under the arm. Okay, stop tapping there. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose and that long, slow exhale through pursed lips. Just notice what's happening in your body and your own experience. Responsibility is freedom disguised as duty. You are not responsible for raising every baby in the world. But if one is on your stoop, you respond. That's your inner child in this moment. That's your own life experience in this moment. So if it feels aligned and you want to share in the chat, where in your life right now is there a baby on the stoop moment? Is there something presented to you that you didn't cause, you might barely have the bandwidth for, and yet it's in front of you? Here it is for you to respond to. Maybe you've been resisting it. Maybe you know you have to dive into it. Maybe you're willing to dive into it, but it's not your fault. You're not to blame. You didn't cause it, but your support is needed right now. Your mojo is needed. You're the one, singularly, uniquely, with the ability to respond in this moment. If you have a baby on the stoop moment like that, something you're facing, feel free to share that in the chat so we can witness for you and just help you hold that load for a few minutes tonight energetically as we tap together. Daughter-in-law's recent passing. Oh, your daughter-in-law's recent passing. I'm so sorry, Elizabeth. Yeah, that's so hard. Yeah, and your family's going to need you and your support. And your parts are going to need your support too. Yeah. So just notice that. Hold Elizabeth in your hearts right now. And we respond to her with our ability to respond in this moment. Say, we're holding this too, just in whatever way we can. Tapping on your collarbones. Anybody else has a baby on the stoop moment they'd like to share, something they're facing and they're dealing with, if it would serve you to have it witnessed by this group and held by this group. This is our way of taking responsibility in this moment in the way that we can for what's in front of us. Brother in the hospital. Oh, just had a triple bypass surgery. I'm sorry, Richard, that's so hard. Responsibility is to visit him each day in the hospital and communicate how he's doing to all of our other family members. Wow, that's so much. You've taken that on. Yeah, I'm stepping up to do that. That's beautiful. So just hold Richard in your hearts now for a moment too. And send him that energy, this gratitude on behalf of his family and strength, our wisdom. And as you send it to Richard, just notice that you need it too. And let's let this ripple out to each other. And letting the past go. Yeah, Judith. Letting the past go. That's one for all of us, right? Like we're not to blame for the past. It's not our fault. But we are the ones in the best position to integrate it and learn how to let it go. Yeah. So just hold this knowing that we all navigate life. We all take on things that aren't our faults, for which we are not to blame. And we make them our responsibility by saying, I can do this. I have this. I've got your back. I have the ability to respond to this. And noticing here that we're just tapping in to the wise and strong force we all have inside of us, our true benevolent nature, the real you, what IFS calls self with a capital S, what I call the inner wizard. Just hold that knowing. Whatever your sensations or experiences are now, it's okay. You can't get it wrong. Just hold that knowing that you have this undamaged core of peace. Tonya, yeah, vascular dementia, breast lesion and lumpectomy next week. Wow, there's so much there. Recently confirmed a rotator cuff tear, all while interviewing for a new job. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yes. Taking responsibility for so many things, holding it for yourself and for others. That's so beautiful and that's so hard. So let's hold Tanya in our hearts as well. And let's all hold each other and picture that warm golden light expanding from inside of you and connecting to each of us here. As we move into tapping on the side of our hands, okay? Even though I've been reacting, I'm centering now. I can pause. Even though I've been overwhelmed, I know how to regulate. Even though this is hard, and life is hard, I can breathe. Top of the head. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. Eyebrow. And I can grow that space. Side of the eye. In that space is my power. Under the eye. I can regulate. Under the nose. I can pause. Chin. I can soften. Collarbone. I can choose. Under the arm. That is responsibility. Okay, take a nice deep breath. Allow yourself to stop tapping and just tuning into what's happening for you. Noticing what's shifting inside, whether things are getting less intense, more intense, or going in an unexpected direction, it's all okay. As long as it feels safe, remember our mantra for today and just tune into your experience and say, you can stay. You can stay. Polyvagal theory tells us that we cannot respond clearly from fight or collapse. So this regulation that we're doing is not bypassing. We are accessing power. So just notice what you're feeling. And just take a minute here and find what helps you ground. Right now you can see I'm doing some containment. So is Judith. Melissa's doing a little heart coherence. Do whatever works for you. It could just be some breathing, feeling your feet planted on the floor. Just relax and notice the present moment. And as you breathe in, say, I am safe. And as you breathe out, say, all of my experience is welcome. Breathe in silently, I am safe. Breathe out silently, All of my experience is welcome. What I'd like to do in this moment is something called a push away. This is a somatic nervous system experience. It's an exercise to help us regulate even more. So as we are now holding the energy of blame and we're working to transcend, what a push away is it not about pushing away our experience? It's quite the opposite. We're pushing away everything that doesn't belong to us so that we can make more room for our experience. So what I want you to do is put your hands up by your shoulders and imagine that you have your hands placed on a boulder that's taller than you, gigantic, like very big boulder. And as you push, and we'll do this a couple times. So the first time you can watch if that's the kind of learner you are, or you can follow along, but don't worry, we're going to do a couple. And so as you push out, you want to have all of the muscles of your fingers, your arms, and your shoulders engaged because you're pushing this heavy boulder. And it might take you like 10 to 15 seconds, and you just like push it away from you. You just push it away. And when you get to the end of your push away, your arms are straight. You can just let your arms relax down and let your breathing become what it is. There's my spontaneous deep breath. And you may notice no change right now. You may notice a deep breath as well. You may notice the yawning, the sighing, the stomach gurgling. So let's do that again. And remember, this is not about pushing away our experience. You can stay my own experience, but you're pushing away everything that doesn't belong to you. So just push away the overwhelm, the expectations of society, the beliefs from history, from generations past, everything push, 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 push. When you get to the arms, relax, and let yourself. That's a push away. That's something you can do anytime you want to when you start to feel a little bit stuck, a little bit less clarity, or a little bit overwhelmed. I do that in my car between things. Sometimes I do that first thing in the morning if I can already feel it's a heavy day ahead. So just take that one with you. Put that one in your back pocket. It's one of my favorites. And if you're ready, begin tapping on the side of your hand. Even though I want control, I release what I cannot control, I guess. I suppose, begrudgingly. But I do. Okay, I do. Even though I want guarantees, I choose integrity. Even though this feels vulnerable, I trust myself. And if that feels foreign, I'm willing to learn to trust myself. There'll be a time when I can trust myself. I'm worth trusting. Top of the head. I have a right to action. Eyebrow. Not to the fruits of my action. Side of the eye. I can act with integrity. Under the eye. Without attachment. Under the nose. I can let go of outcomes. Chin. I can focus on response. Collarbone. This is lighter. This is freeing. Even if it feels a little funny. Even if I don't know what to do with it. Under the arm. I'm open and I'm willing to integrate. I trust the process. Okay, stop tapping there. Put your hands on your heart if that feels aligned. Acting with integrity, unattached to the outcome, is not passive. It's powerful. It allows you to move through spaces with sturdiness, with clarity, and without fear, anxiety, or nerves, because you're not worried about outcome. You're rooted in your integrity. So if you'd like to share in the chat here, what outcome are you gripping that might be draining you? What are you hoping for that you can't get your mind off? What are you desperate about that spins you in loops? If it would serve you to share this, to allow the group to hold it, feel free to put that in the chat. What outcome are you gripping that could be draining you? To not be laid off. Yeah. And of course, why wouldn't we be gripping something like that? It's so scary, right? We don't want to be laid off. And you just notice that gripping onto the outcome can feel draining. Yeah, and it's okay. It's okay. Now you can say to the part that's gripping, you can stay. This is the paradox of healing and transformation. You can stay, part that's gripping, and then you come and hold the part that's gripping and see if that allows it to grip a little less. But if you go and say, okay, we got to stop gripping. I've said this a million times. Stop. No more gripping. That's not going to work. It's going to grip tighter, maybe to a different part, maybe hide from you. Yeah, the outcome of my healing, holding and gripping to that. Yeah, trying to accomplish everything at once and exhausting myself. How I relate to that one. Yes, so true. Yeah, so just notice these proclivities. Notice that feeling of feeling locked into this outcome. It has to be this way. And tune into the part that feels that way with no compromise. Yes, it has to be this way. I have to not get laid off. Yes, I have to get healed. Yes, I must accomplish everything at once. Turn to that part, notice that part, and say, you can stay. You can stay. I see you. Come over here, you that's just gripping everything. Come over here and grip. You don't even have to let go. Just sit down on my lap while you grip, please. Oh my goodness, let me hold you while you grip that, because that's a lot. And you just keep gripping if it makes you feel safe. I don't want you to feel any danger. So you keep gripping, but know that I've got you while you grip. And with that connection with your parts, between you, your inner wizard, that's yourself with a capital S, and your parts, let's begin tapping again. Even though I've given energy to outrage, I reclaim it now. Even though I've given energy to shame, that's mine again now too. Even though this is new, I'm willing to learn to trust it. And if it feels true for you, you can say, I trust it. Top of head. Reclaiming my energy. Operative word, my. Eyebrow. Reclaiming my clarity. Side of the eye. Reclaiming my bandwidth. Under the eye. My power. Under the nose. I don't need blame to feel strong. That's an illusion. Chin. I don't need shame to feel safe. That's an illusion. Collarbone. I choose response. I choose the ability to respond. I choose responsibility. Under the arm. I choose freedom. Okay, stop tapping right there. Take a nice, slow, deep breath in. Allow yourself to tune into your experience as you take a nice, long, slow exhale. Every time you heal, you add healing to the field. Every time you blame, you add blame. So this is sacred work that we are doing. So just notice from where we were at the beginning of this tapping circle to where we are now, what's shifted for you? Good, bad, or ugly, and you can't get this wrong. And if you want to share any shifts that are coming up for you in the chat, feel free to do that. Sometimes these shifts mean we have more awareness and it feels a little less pleasant, or we have more access to something uncomfortable, and so it might feel a little more intense. Sometimes the shifts are a complete bridge through the emotions and we feel a little more peace on the other side. Whatever shifted for you, anything at all that you notice that you want to bring in front of the compassionate witnessing of the group, feel free to share that in the chat right now. And we're going to do another round of tapping after this share to close. But I want to give everyone a chance to sort of let us know what's been going on for them. This has been helpful for processing. Yeah, of course, Mary, absolutely. More at peace, releasing blame. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. That's right. There's no pressure to share anything in the chat. If you don't want to do that, that's okay. Just be here in this moment with your experience, noticing only what's shifted for you. What are your parts communicating to you now? How are they responding to you putting your attention on them? Less rage. Yeah. Yeah. If I can release blame and the same, I feel a bigger space of peace. Yeah. Yeah. Feel more peaceful and able to release the need to control outcomes, which is so hard. Yeah. But choose responsibility. That's right. Yeah. We just take this step by step, piece by piece. And you come anytime you slip back into that blame, and we do, this is a lifelong, I do, right? We do all the time. You come back to a tapping practice like this, or just come back to your own knowledge that you now remember, like, what do I have the ability to respond to at this moment? What is my response ability? And that's all there is. And you can transcend blame that way. Not because something isn't to blame, but because it matters less than what we can do with our creativity in this moment. What we can create right now from right here. More compassion for others, resting in the peace of self. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's tap one more round together to really solidify this, cement it in, to bring ourselves home, okay? Even though I'm still learning, I trust my responsibility. Even though I can't fix everything, I can respond where I stand. Even though the world is complex, I can act from clarity. Top of the head. Responsibility is freedom. Eyebrow. Freedom to respond. Side of the eye. Freedom to pause. Under the eye. Freedom to choose. Under the nose. Freedom to act with integrity. Chin. Freedom to let go. Collarbone. I am responsible for my response. Under the arm. And that is enough. More than enough. Okay, pause there. Put your hands on your heart if that feels aligned. And take a nice, long, slow, deep breath in through your nose. Maybe the deepest breath you've taken so far today. And let a nice, slow release as you exhale. So blame tries to control everything to feel safe. Responsibility regulates and responds. Blame locks us in the past. Responsibility opens us to the present. You're responsible for nothing more than what you have the ability to respond to right now. That is power, that is clarity, and that is freedom. So thank you so much, everybody, for tapping with me tonight. I really appreciate it. If anyone has anything they'd like to share in the chat before we depart, feel free. This is your space. We do have a few more minutes, but it's okay either way. This is such a pleasure to be here with you. We are living through a massive species-wide transformation of human consciousness, and we are doing that one individual nervous system at a time, 26 in one felt swoop tonight. I love you all. Thank you all so much.